What is the Perth property market like at the moment?
It's a bit scary for my generation and younger. Why?
How do you go about finding your next listing?
I never let someone's sort of attitude put me down.
Most people are quite scared of that interaction. If something's uncomfortable, I lean into it because I know it's good for me.
Out of 10 calls, someone might say yes.
The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away.
Because if you give up, it shows character of giving up.
It's quite a fascinating prospect.
But you never let someone's negativity stop you from doing a good job.
Of course you can do this. Oh, really? Of course.
Expectation of you should know if you can do it. I'll leave this piece of advice to anyone.
Welcome back to another episode of That Backyard Property Pod. I am so excited today. The guest we have, actually, you know what? I'm overjoyed because the guest we have today is a real estate agent, a social media influencer, the king of Balcatta, Justin Merendino. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
What a pleasure.
An absolute pleasure to be here. This is absolutely beautiful. Thank you for the opportunity.
It's just so good to have you in. I love your authenticity. I love what you're about. And so I can't wait for the listeners
Thank you.
to absorb it. We're going to go into Perth property market because it's, as you know, it's hot. Into social media on that side of it. As you know, it's blown up for yourself. Before I go into that, I always want to delve into what a home means. So to you, what does a home mean?
What a beautiful question. Absolutely beautiful. When I, for example, go to visit a client that's invited me in their home to see their home and value it or put an appraisal together, I often say it may once have been just a house, but all the memories and photos I'm seeing on the wall has created a family or a home, call it. And they often sit there and look at me going, you're the fourth agent. No one's ever said that to me. And I don't use it as some sort of skill. I talk from the heart because I grew up in a home. My parents made a welcoming brick and tile home where I grew up around Morley, and we welcomed many people. And I often go to someone's house and I'll say things like, shall I remove my shoes? Because I'm respecting their property. For me, a house is definitely a home where you create memories, and children are birthed to and grown up to adults like we all were. And it's a warm and loving environment where the word welcome is just spread like fire, you know. So for me, that's a home. It's where memories are made. And I myself can't wait till I settle down and have children one day. I can welcome many people through my front door for a lot of coffee and food.
But do you recall your childhood memories, the smells, the noises?
Still happens.
What does that feel like for
My
you?
mother's always been the traditional Italian in the kitchen, and nothing against that or stereotyping that to a woman. It's more, my father was always the gardener, green thumb. Mum was always the one that kept the household clean and tidy. And that's how I was brought up. But the joy of a Sunday morning, having pasta sauce just coming to its boil, and the smell through the house, or Italian, we call them cotolette, cutlets, being fried in the oil, ready, on paper towel in the oven for a lunch, and salads being made, dressed with olive oil and salt and just simple ingredients. That's a home. And those sort of smells and traditions, I can't live without. So I often say when I become a father figure to my children, I want them to have that little bit of upbringing that I had. And I hope to the big boss upstairs they appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, you hope so.
I hope so.
I got two little ones, and they certainly don't appreciate it yet.
No,
they
not
will.
yet.
They will. They will at some point.
Yes.
You're second, third generation.
So I'm third.
Third generation.
So my grandparents migrated, then my parents were born here, and I'm born here.
And so how does that culture cultivate into a different society? Like you've got someone who might have moved here without any English, possibly.
Yeah, they didn't.
Without any prospects just of a better life. And now you're here appreciating where you are now?
I must say, if it wasn't for my grandparents making that leap after the war, because it was, from what they tell me and what you read in history, that war in Europe was horrible, the second one. And the first one, of course, is when they sort of made the move in the sort of end of the war into the 50s. So the late 50s, my grandparents all migrated. And most of them, from my mother's side, so my grandfather migrated first, then brought my grandmother, my nonna, over. Different with my grandfather on my father's side, he met his wife here. So the migration was told, go to Australia for opportunity. They got here and they saw gum trees and kangaroos, and they had to get their equipment out and start developing the land. And of course, the land is always sacred to the first people that owned it. But I feel very much in my heart, we've all brought from afar our own cultures that are very much appreciated by all in Australia now, including myself. I really am proud to be Italian, and I often go around saying to people I'm proud, Australian-born Italian, I'm very proud with the language, culture and food like no other. Yeah. People look at me and go, well, are you born here or there? And I say, here, but I'm proud,
You can be proud of both.
I'm proud. I'm very proud. So
You're proud of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Perth property market.
I love it.
It's fierce at the moment. You've obviously helping people sell their property, but also buyers on the other side.
Yes.
And you're helping people create new memories and people close the chapter of old memories. What is the Perth property market like at the moment?
I think it's just cracked over 2,800. About 3 weeks ago it was 2.9. And I believe if I read correctly in the REWA report I get from rewa.com, that is the lowest Perth seen. It's a bit scary for my generation and younger. Why? My father's generation and above reaped the benefit. They bought a block for 90,000 in 1995. Now that block, if there's nothing on it, is worth $500,000, 450,000. And they sort of go, well, they've reaped the benefit. I feel for my generation, and I've said it many times in a lot of these sort of podcast environments, I feel because they're walking in my own home open, and you look them in the eye and they say, Justin, I've been to 6 home opens. I've put offers and they're under offer before I even get a phone call back. I'm very strict, if I can say. I do not go to putting a property under offer unless I've called everyone. If they don't answer the telephone, I can't help it. But I leave a message saying, Brian, Bob, Mary, whoever it is, Justin Merendino, Ray White Real Estate, you came through this address today, say it's a Sunday, wanting to get your feedback and see if I can provoke an offer from you. Leave a message. Majority of the time they ring back, thank you, but it wasn't for us. Thank you, yes, we'd like to place an offer. Look, I've got 6 here. I want to add you to the basket. Please get it in. And they sort of go, thank you very much, They get this sort of happy anxiety, if you want to use the word, that they're giving a chance. They've been given a chance to sort of enter this, sort of negotiation. So I love it. I love negotiating and I love being a service. That's just me.
But how do you go about telling someone they don't have it? Because they're in that position, they've already got themselves in the bedrooms, into the kitchen. How does that feel?
Look, it's sad and it's hard. And I had to do it. A property I had in Duncraig, it's now sold, finance come through. And I'm very, very happy. I'm overjoyed for that buyer. They're a family, and it's a property they can create memories. The little kids this big coming through the home open, gorgeous. The family that was second, I rang them, and hopefully they hear this because I know it's the truth. I rang them 4 times. They were a family in a northern suburb here where I've grown up near my school, and I said to them, look, we're now in vicinity here. I need more money if you want to be the owner. We got to a certain point, back and forward, and in the end they said, look, we're stopping here. I said, if you're telling me that's your final, unfortunately, I'm telling you now I have to move on with the next people. It's not that I'm disrespecting you or your money. It's the fact that someone's seeing more value and they want to pay it. Unfortunately, I can't do anything unless you're going to sort of pull a few more blank checks out of your pocket.
A few more dollars.
Yeah, but I think people respect the fact that even up to the last minute, I'm calling. What do you want to do? Because it's an opportunity that maybe some put to bed quick, and close the deal quick. If I sort of have open Saturday, Sunday, I try to wrap up by Tuesday. Some would say that's too long for this market. But the phone may ring on the Monday. Justin, we're thinking of putting an offer. No problem. And that might be a person that I've rung back on the weekend that didn't answer the phone. So, you've got to play the cards right in my industry, I believe, and give everyone opportunity. Otherwise, some people do get sour. And politely so, because they've gone to 20 home opens, put 15 offers, and they're missing out on them all. They're going to get sour at some point. And unfortunately, the buyer ends up taking it out on the next agent that, because they think we're all the same. But I try to be different and give people opportunity.
There's such a small or lack of supply in the market, and listings are precious for an agent. They're just, as you said, 2,800 on the market.
Roughly.
How do you go about finding your next listing?
Right. I'm prospecting up to a year for some of them. So, for example, I mentioned to you prior to us going live, I've got a property in Dianella coming up, right? And that prospect, I've gone back before coming out today. It was in March 2024 that I did the first appraisal. I've then seen that client in December, Christmas, and again in June, 3 times. I'm only trying to list it next week. It's taken me 4 encounters in person and sitting down for a cup of tea. So what I want the public to know, we don't necessarily get it all just fall to us. We work for it. And for me, I'd never lose patience. I ring, and if I get told, leave me alone, no problem, have a wonderful day. Hang up, move on with the next one. I never let someone's sort of attitude put me down. I love calling people. And I've come from the office today and I made some calls, and, that's how you sort of get yourself a water business, because you're simply asking, I'm providing you a service, which is an appraisal. And what I mentioned to you earlier was, if I go for an appraisal, I go for an appraisal. I never pull out any listing documents. I let them know, Bob, Mary, it's been a pleasure to come through your home. I love it. I would love to work for you. When can I follow up with you? And often they look at you and go, okay, we'll follow up with us next Thursday. Next Thursday, I write in my diary. Bob, Justin Merendino, I came through last week, your property. You asked me to give you a call. Yes, Justin, thank you. Mary and I have been thinking about it since you've been. We'd love to list with you. And often, by not pushing or pressuring them, it simply comes back to you for good. And I won't change that way of my method, because it just simply works. And I'm the type, if you pressure me in any form of business, I was a car salesman before real estate, and I've bought cars. If I walk in and I say, I'd like to interest in this vehicle, and the sort of car sales rep says to me, why can't we do the business today? I want the business today. You've put me off. So if it puts me off, it's got to put them off. That's my motto. So I sort of I treat people how I want to be treated.
Absolutely.
That's my motto.
You clearly get this buzz and this kick from prospecting and talking to people. Most people are quite scared of that interaction. Why do you think you're wired differently in that respect? Because I'm the same as you, right? If something's uncomfortable, I lean into it because I know it's good for me.
I've never been uncomfortable with a telephone. Yeah. As you would have, I'm assuming here, right? We all grew up with a home phone landline. We didn't know who was ringing. There was no caller ID. You'd simply go to the wall, pick the phone up, hello. I learnt from a young age communication skills, because you never knew who was on the other side. I simply use that in my brain. Back in 1990, I wasn't even born, but you didn't know who it was. So now in prospecting, I'm ringing someone I don't know. Hello, is that Mary? Yes. Justin Merendino, Ray White Real Estate. I was simply ringing you up to let you know I've sold in your area. I'd love to offer you an appraisal on your property. No, thank you. Thank you very much. No problem. Have a good day. That's it. Move on to the next one. And Out of 10 calls, someone might say yes. Come along. I want to know what it's worth. Beautiful. Write it down. I'll be out there this time, this day, what suits you. And we're there.
Do you know what your ratios are in terms of calls to appointments?
Look, generally it's sort of, sometimes it depends to answer that question very solidly. Sometimes I can do 10 calls and on the 8th call, yes, I want an appraisal. Sometimes I can do 50 calls and get nothing. And some agents would find that very frustrating because if you're not getting in front of people, how do you live? But that's blind in my mind. Just keep doing. Wash and repeat, as my principal would say. Wash and repeat. Because if you give up, it shows character of giving up. It's like a property. And I had this encounter with a property in studio. It's just sold now, a month on the market, in this market, unheard of. But there were things that stopped me allowing the sale to go through, where we had tenants involved, we couldn't open it when we wanted. So that said and done, as an agent in a market that's hot, your level of sort of energy at the start of the listing's up here. And because you all of a sudden, you've got all these obstacles, your energy drops because you think, am I going to sell this? But I wipe that out of my head. Don't worry about if you're going to sell it. You leave it there and you sort of show the product to whom the buyer may be, and the buyer will come along because there is a home for everyone.
Absolutely.
Even if someone says it's not for me, no problem, the next one. Oh, I love it. And you think, that one hated it, this one loves it. I don't know who to please. But it doesn't matter. I've always said from word go, no negativity in my industry. Because I've had people say, I don't like these tiles. Well, that's okay. They can be changed. Personally, I love them because I've been brought up with that type of thing and I like that style. But you'd never let someone's negativity stop you from doing a good job. Their negativity might be their positivity somewhere else. You know, that's how I think about it.
It's a good way to think because it also builds resilience.
Oh,
and you need resilience as an agent.
You have to. How many doors I've knocked and get out, why are you on my property? No worries, I do apologise, I'll leave, have a wonderful day. Boom, with a door in your face. And I was saying to you earlier, I get more of a thrill and a kick and business out of calls. I do get a lot of sort of shut the door in your face when I knock. The only time I'll sort of knock is if I'm actually selling on the street. To say, you'll notice 50 metres up the road, there's a yellow sign, Merendino's the name. If someone parks on your driveway on home open, here's my card, let me know. And they'll go, oh, that was nice. There's a reason for me knocking. You know what I mean? But if I sort of knock and say, do you want to sell? No, but rack off. You're there for no reason in someone's mind, which is respectful. And nowadays, we don't just have it's not like it was. You have a plain doorbell, ding dong, you look through the people. Now everyone's got cameras everywhere. They don't even have to be home to know who's at their door. They got it on their mobile phone. So people are very sceptical who's coming to their door, and I respect that.
Yeah, absolutely. You're now in this world of social media. And so if we wind back 2 years ago to Justin Merendino in 2022, 23, what was Justin Merendino doing then? And I'm assuming that the same Justin Merendino is here today, yet more people just know who you are.
That's right. 2 years ago, like you say, rewind back, I didn't want to know social media. When I got in the industry, I did my training at the Ray White headquarters in the corner of Barrack Street, I think it was, yeah. And I hadn't started anything. Just probably a little page, couple of posts. This is me, that was it. No videos like you see me now. Otherwise you wouldn't know who I am yourself. Anyway, what had happened, the gentleman, I won't name, had said, the trainer, he said, fellas, we were in a room, social media is the way forward, he said. You either embrace it now or be forgotten later. That's how he said it. He said, there's no point you just drifting along, doing your work, and then putting yourself on social media 2-3 years later because everyone else has done it. Because people are going to go, well, you've been in the industry, according to Instagram, for 5 minutes. But then people have been in the industry for 30 years. No one knew them. I went home that day, created the account for the Ray White part, and done that. And then it was this year it sort of took off, which I've said on a few of these sort of podcasts. I was selling a property in Ashfield. I said to the vendor, who was a friend, look, we're at the same age group. This home is brand new, practically. Simply move in, as I say. Let's put it on social. Let me talk a little bit about it. He held my phone, and there you are. The rest is history. I remember the name, Justin Merendino, is not far away. That was it. It just rolled off the tongue as it just did. And I love it. And I don't love it because it's sort of got me where I am. I love it because it's just me being myself. And I often say to people, and I'll say it to you now, I don't know why it's gone so crazy, but I much respect everyone that follows me and people that show me respect, they just get it back, So that's sort of where it is. And I think if I hadn't have done it, there would be no point of difference. I would be like everyone else. And I've never been. I've always been different.
But that's what we were talking about earlier off camera, is that in school age, we're told to conform and be the same, wear the same uniform, all that sort of stuff. And all of a sudden you're celebrated as being a unique individual. It's quite a fascinating prospect.
Very. I often through school, maybe not my own year group, but there were people that probably look and they, people whisper. And they're talking about you. Whether they're talking good or bad, who knows? And there was always that, whether it was in 2000 or whether it's in 2025. It still happens. And I sort of put a blind eye then. I mean, deep down it sort of got to you. But I've always been who I am. I've never liked my skinny jeans like most guys might wear. I've always liked my sort of classic trousers. Why change? I said to you off camera, like you say, I am proud of who I am. I do no harm, and I respect everybody if you respect me. So that's what I like to say, during school. But it's funny now. A lot of my school friends or people that say, I remember you from school. You're a real estate agent now. They know I'm walking through the shopping centre, just a Merendino, not far away. I'm going, oh my gosh, And like you say, they praise you for being different. And I thought, deep down, I often say, if I hadn't have done what I'd done, and it came natural, there was no planning here, just so people know, nothing got planned. It happened all overnight. If I hadn't have done what I did and took the punt, because really all that could have happened, people would have put a comment, go away, we hate you, we don't want to hear your rubbish. I've never heard it. There might be the odd one that puts their comment, we just move on, I'm not interested. But what I'm saying to that is I've had positivity flowing out everywhere. Every time now I put a 10 out of 10 sort of score that a vendor's given me or a buyer, people are, well done, Merendino, he's done it right the first time. And they're quoting things I say now, and I'm going, wow, this is just, it's like a movie. What is it,
Dude, there must be moments where you go, how did this happen?
But every day I wake up and I go, I never intended. Never, honest to God, hand on heart, never intended. There was just me being me, my best friends, my dear friends from around, my family. They know me who I am. I'll be the one sitting at the table, I'm the loudest. I don't care what, people go, shh, you're too loud. And I'll go, I don't care, this is a public space. That's sort of me, I've always been like that.
What are family gatherings like now, though? Because you're at a family gathering, you're not just Justin anymore.
No, I'm always
You're the king
Justin.
of Balcutta.
Well, they like to say that, how do I put it? I'm the same person. How I am on a camera is how I am face to face with you. How I am at an appraisal, I am at a birthday. How I am every day, I'm the same. There's no work Justin, private Justin, none of that. I'm who I am.
It's probably why people get drawn to it.
I don't know.
Probably why.
You know better than me.
Well, I feel the same. What you see is what you get. And all of a sudden, people, when they then meet you, they go, oh, that's exactly what I expected. You're the same person.
Well, some people have said, we're a bit sceptical if you're different. if you're sort of camera Justin and a different Justin. I said, mate, something wrong. For me, that's odd saying that statement because, but I've got to respect. They don't know me personally. So they can be sceptical, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, I say to people, get to know someone before you judge.
Agreed.
And I often write that to these sort of people that take a little bit of a dig, if you want to use the word, at me on social media. And the amount of compliment and backup I have from all these other people, you don't know him, leave him alone, all this. But I often just politely say, before you have a sort of go at me for being who I am, please get to know me first, And they don't ever reply. They never reply.
Keyboard warriors.
Oh.
You've got this Justin Merendino fan club anyway.
I'll tell you what.
How do you want to be remembered?
For being a good person with a big heart and someone that just provides good quality, old school customer service. Because, like I said off camera, you go to Coles, Woolworths now, self-serve, do it yourself, DIY. I'm a big believer of help. And in real estate, it's very simply said nowadays with all this big hot market, a vendor can sell their home on their own. I'm not going to discount that, right? I'm not going to say it can't be done. It can. But if you want quality help, wholehearted, above and beyond service, remember the name. That's it.
So good. Where does the strive for customer service come from? Is it something that you had as a kid? Is it something you grew up with? Like, where's that come from?
It definitely is. My first job was at Coles, and I was at the checkout. So I used to bag people, and I never forget. And you might have seen not long ago, I did a video with the concreting of the properties, Contact Australia.
I didn't see it.
If you see it, that person reached out to me, I won't mention name, said to me, Justin, you used to pack my bags at Coles when you were 13 at the checkout or 14, and I've never forgotten you. Right? And she was Italian, and she was young, just had a newborn, and her son now, who's older, he loves me apparently, she said. And she said, I never forget you because you used to make me feel old. And I said, what do you mean? Because she says, you used to call me signora, because in Italian, signora's Mrs. or Miss. And she goes, well, you used to make me feel old, And I thought, oh my gosh, she remembered me from that. And it was funny. You leave an impression in people. They don't forget you. But you leave a bad impression, they don't forget you twice as hard.
Yeah.
So my point of that, to your question, is customer service, to me, I grew up with my grandparents, non-English speaking. You can't send an old person into Telstra, into the tax department, who doesn't understand the language. Give them, sort of 20 pages, fill this out. They don't understand what they're doing. You need someone, like when you go to the bank, right? I go to the bank often because I want that encounter at the teller. And the teller often says to me, you can do exactly what you're doing at the ATM. Yeah, but I don't want to deal with the machine, I say. Now they stopped saying because they know my face. Oh, Merendino wants customer service. I do. If I do a credit card application, I want to sit in the room with the door shut because I want to discuss the options. I don't want to be told do it online because at the end of the day, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I click a button and it goes into my sort of credit file and does something. And then you know what happens? Oh, it's your fault that you did it. Well, of course it is. There's a blame game and I respect that. But if I had someone next to me saying, click this button, do that, boom, 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 step by step, you'd feel more comfortable. I think the world now has moved towards this perception in the brain. We are expected to just know. I don't even know how to use my mobile half of the time. My sister goes, click here, hang on, slow down before you know what I mean? And that's because I was brought up old school and I was brought up very simple. And I still respectfully love living simply. I'm never this type of guy. You'll never see me with his watch here. Hello. It's not me. I'm sorry, Apple, because I know they sell them. That's their best seller. But I've always said a watch is a timepiece for the time. A phone is to make a phone call. But people look at me and go, like they say on there, I said this to you before, are you 28 or 68? You can say what you want, but at the end of the day, that's how I feel. The world's gone to this perception of we're expected to know how to operate anything. You buy a new car, you're expected to know how to use the entertainment system. You buy a new TV, you're expected to know how to do it. I think we've got to step back a little bit in everything, in real estate, in purchasing, in buying cars, in TVs, everything, to this fact of, I think we should ask the question, do you need assistance with that item? And people will look and go, I haven't had that question for 20 years, because we're all expected to know, I think.
Which is the biggest hurdle for a lot of first home buyers I talk with, because their first hurdle is that they don't think they can do it. Because they don't know.
Fear, isn't it?
It's the fear of not knowing and the fear of going back to school. Who wants to answer this question? Everyone, hands down. It's the fear of not being able to answer the question correctly. And then all of a sudden you sit with them and they say, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I've got about 100,000 in savings. Of course you can do this. Oh, really? Of course. Of course.
Again, that's that expectation of you should know if you can do it. I'll leave this piece of advice to anyone. Never assume that you can't do something. Always ask. Because I think that's how I've gotten through my life almost to 30. I'm not shy of asking for help, and I'm not shy of asking if, this particular item is at its best price. Because a lot of my generation get that fear, oh, don't ask that, it's embarrassing. If you're in Harvey Norman or Good Guys and you want to know that the ticket says $9.99 and you ask the attendant sales rep, is $9.99 finished, finito, done, or can we have a bit more of a discount? Don't be shy. I've gotten through my life how I am for that, and I believe that has helped my negotiation skills.
If you don't ask, you don't get.
You don't get. Beautiful.
As we kind of round out this conversation, because I've loved it, and the way that you're interacting with me, I love the podcast because it's this pure connection. No phones, just two people connecting over discussions. As we round it out, I'd love to know what your thoughts are and how you feel about success. What does success mean to you?
Success to me is simply, as you see me today, being known for good, for doing good. And I often say that it's not a money perception. It's not how much gold you got on your fingers or watch or, the car you drive. That to me means nothing. For me, it's simply being spoken of in a community for that Justin Merendino, he's a good guy. If you have to sell, give him a ring. And when the phone rings and they say, Giovanni up at the soccer club recommended you, Justin. Oh, I'll tell you what, the big boy upstairs is truly looking out for me. That's success. Because when my name travels around for a good reason and for positivity, warms my heart. Absolutely warms my heart. I don't know how to describe it any better than that.
Yeah. Well, other than just a delicious pasta
sauce.
sauce.
I knew you were gonna. You love it. Yeah, it's I love a good pasta, as people do know.
Rounding it all out, I finish off every pod with what people are proud of. I don't feel that we get the ability to talk about what we're proud of because we get shut down. Tall poppy syndrome. Don't tell us how good you are, whatever it might be. But I would love to know from you, what are you most proud of personally and professionally?
Well, I'll start with professionally. Professionally, I am so proud of who I am today and how positive and how content I feel in my life. And I have to really give thanks, and I often do, to my principal, because he interviewed me a good 4 times before he gave me the job at Ray White.
What's his name?
David. Bless him. He's a gentleman. And why I say that with all positivity, saying this, if he hadn't given me a chance and said, get on your bike, you're no good, I would have maybe thought, I can't do it because I've been told you're no good. But what I was always warned of is Real estate's not a game you're going to be known or going to earn $1 in the first 5 minutes. Don't think we open the front door on a Monday and on the Tuesday you got a listing. Doesn't work like that. And I think because I was educated from straight away to say, hey, this is going to happen gradually, and it has, that's what got me through. But I'm proud of that so much that I have this resilience in me that I've never given up. And I won't, because there will be months where you go, oh, I haven't got a listing. Doesn't matter. Keep the phone calls going. Keep the letterboxes full. Keep the videos going, because people want to see you. Because if you show negativity in you, people think, oh, he's not himself, you know. And I'm always happy, because why should I be sad? But that's what I'm very proud of in my profession, is where I've gotten to today, and it's all thanks to real estate. I'm so happy, and I said to you earlier on, I wish I'd done it years ago. But I've done it now, and I'm very happy. Personally, I must say, the respect I'm shown in my family and the way my family embrace me as who I am, you know, it brings me joy to feel I've got support just being myself everywhere I go. But in a personal life, my friends, my family, the encouragement, I often get friends calling me, Justin, you sold that one in Duncraig. Justin, you did that. Oh my God, you're marvellous. But it's not even just about work that they'll call. They'll ring because they care. How are you going? And I think I'm living a life of richness from the most simple things that anyone could ever ask for. It's not a wealth of dollar value. It's a wealth of love. That's what it is. My cousins, everyone.
What does family mean to you?
The world. I can't wait to, in a few years' time, hope to maybe...
Take your time.
Yeah, take my time. But when I settle down and create my own family, it would be so lovely to sort of broadcast it to the world. Because one tick on a box, if you want, on the bucket list people have, for me has always been to be a father and a devoted husband. And in a traditional sense. So, you know, I would love to have children and see them get older like my parents have seen me grow. I want the same. And I want to get to 80 and sort of have retired and said all those hard times where I've stayed in the office till 11 o'clock at night fixing up a deal. Look at the tables full of food. The kids are screaming with joy. I'm drinking a glass of wine. And what else could I have asked for? You know, good health, good people, a beautiful family. I can't ask for any more. I can't ask for any more. And I am a simple man. For me, that's a simple thing. I've never once said I want to be rich, I want to have 20 houses. No, it's not me. It gives me anxiety because some money doesn't bring happiness to people. You know? It can bring the evil. I don't want it. I want to live comfortable, happy, pay my taxes like everyone else, and have beautiful family around me, full of food, because I tell you, food brings me a lot of joy.
And you know when things just hit you at the right moment, the right time? And I thought this was a really good.
I love that book.
Pablo Picasso.
Yes.
Who you obviously would know.
Yes, I do.
He said, the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. I couldn't think of a better way to round out the conversation than say that to you.
Well, I think I'm doing exactly that, aren't I?
Exactly.
It sounds it. Wow.
Exactly.
What beautiful words.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you round out the camera for the closing touches.
Folks, it's been an absolute pleasure today. I hope you've enjoyed. And of course, remember the name, Justin Merendino's not far away. Ciao.
Thank you so much for listening. It's amazing to have you as part of this community for That Backyard Property Pod. Remember, please hit like, subscribe, follow, and send through any questions that you have. We cannot wait to see you again next Tuesday. If you can't wait though, remember we have minis that come out every Thursday, which go into a little bit more depth into the lending and mortgage world. Thanks again and can't wait to see you again.